Hey kiddos, welcome to For You Kids, where each day is a new adventure filled with fun and learning. Let's buckle up and dive into today's exciting journey together. Ready? Let's go. Day Fun Home Tips. Bella is a 5-year-old girl who lives in a home full of love. Her mom, Lizzie, is always busy making delicious meals, and her dad, John, is passionate about researching various interesting little inventions. Bella has an older brother named Ethan, who is 9 years old and loves to read. The two of them always do all sorts of fun things together. This morning, as soon as Bella climbed out of her soft bed, she noticed her mom, Lizzie, bustling around in the kitchen, while her dad, John, was fiddling with his toolbox in the living room. Bella rubbed her eyes and asked curiously, "Sarah, Daddy, what are you doing?" Dad John looked up, smiling, and replied, "I'm fixing an old chair." Bella felt very curious. She had never seen anyone fix a chair before. She ran to her brother Ethan's side, who was playing with a puzzle, and Bella excitedly said, "Pray, brother, Daddy is fixing a chair." Ethan put down the puzzle in his hand and walked over curiously as well. Dad John carefully inspected the chair while explaining to the two children, "As you know that some small things at home are actually very easy to fix. We can do it ourselves instead of throwing them away." Bella and Ethan were captivated by what their dad John had said, both curiously watching how he repaired the old chair. Dad took out a screwdriver and a few new screws, carefully removing the loose screw. Then he cleaned the joints of the chair legs and reattached the new screws, tightening them securely. John patiently explained, "Cressy, by securing the loose parts, the chair can be safely used again." Bella's eyes sparkled, never having thought that some worn-out things could be reused through simple repair. Ethan, on the other hand, was thoughtful, beginning to recall if there were other items in the house that needed fixing. Suddenly, he thought of his own little bookshelf, which had always been a bit wobbly at one corner. Ethan asked his dad, "Dad, my bookshelf is a bit loose too. Can you teach me how to fix it?" John readily agreed and led the two children to Ethan's room. Sure enough, the bookshelf had a corner that was a bit loose. Ethan brought the toolbox and began working with his dad. Dad John taught his son how to find the loose parts, tighten the screws with a screwdriver, and said while working that fixing things not only extends their lifespan, but also makes us cherish these items more. Bella stood by, carefully observing every move of her brother and dad, looking forward to finding some small things to fix herself. After fixing the bookshelf, Ethan proudly looked at the sturdy shelf, placing the books one by one, while Bella ran through every corner of the house, looking for those teeth's little treasures teeth needed fixing. She returned to her room and saw that one ear of her favorite teddy bear was loose. She ran to her mom Lizzie with the teddy bear, asking for help to sew the ear back on. Mom Lizzie was pleased to see Bella's initiative, took out the sewing box and patiently taught her how to sew. While fixing the teddy bear's ear, Lizzie said to Bella, Bella, we can actually accomplish many things through our own efforts. Not everything needs to be new. Old things also have their value. Bella listened attentively to her mom's words, learning how to sew the teddy bear's ear with a needle and thread. After a while of effort, the teddy bear was finally restored, and Bella happily held the fixed teddy bear, smiling sweetly. She experienced the joy of fixing things by herself and learned an important life lesson. A few days later, Bella and Ethan were playing in the backyard when they suddenly heard the cry of a bird. Bella pointed to a big tree and shouted, "Stephen, look, that little bird seems to be in pain." Ethan immediately stopped his game and went to check. He found the little bird with a wounded wing under the tree, clearly unable to fly. Ethan felt compassion and decided to help the little bird. He carefully picked up the bird and asked Bella, "Tig, what should we do?" Bella thought for a moment and suggested to her, "Let's ask Dad. He must know what to do." The siblings ran home and found their mom Lizzie, who was busy in the kitchen. Bella said urgently, cried Mom, "There's an injured bird under the tree. How can we help it?" Seeing the two holding the bird, Mom Lizzie said gently, "Tifa, let's first find the safe place for it to rest and then ask Dad for help." They found a small cardboard box, lined it with soft cloth, and carefully placed the bird inside. Then Mom Lizzie called Dad John and asked him to come back quickly to take a look. Soon after, Dad John came back. He carefully examined the bird's wing and found that there was no fracture, just some scratches. He said to the children, "We need to disinfect the bird and then bandage its wing so it can rest."
Well,
Dad John took the children to the medicine box and taught them how to clean the bird's wound with warm water and carefully disinfect it with antiseptic. Then he took out a small bandage and carefully bandaged the bird's wing. Ethan and Bella watched intently and remembered these steps with all their heart. A few days later, the bird gradually regained its spirit and its wing was no longer so painful. Dad John told the children, "Cray, we need to check the bird's wing every day, and if the condition improves, we can release it back into nature." Ethan and Bella took care of the bird, carefully every day, feeding it, changing its water, and constantly observing its recovery. One morning, the bird was lively in the box, flapping its wings with great strength, seemingly fully recovered. Ethan and Bella were very happy, holding the bird and running to their parents, eager to say, "For Mom and Dad, the bird seems to be completely better. Can we release it? Dad John smiled and nodded, saying, "'Tis, of course, the outside world is its home." The family went to the backyard and released the bird under the big tree. The bird spread its wings, flew to the blue sky, and its cheerful chirping seemed to be thanking them for their rescue. Ethan and Bella looked up at, flying into the sky, their hearts full of a sense of achievement and joy. Through this experience, Bella and Ethan not only learned how to fix small things at home, but also how to rescue injured little animals. They understood that every life has its value and we should protect and care for it with all our heart. During a weekend in the summer vacation, Bella and Ethan followed their dad John to the countryside cottage where their grandparents lived. There was a vast garden and a clear stream, and Bella loved exploring the wonderful creatures in the embrace of nature. That day, under the guidance of their grandfather Arnold, they learned how to grow vegetables. Bella and Ethan first learned how to turn the soil, sow seeds, and water, all of which was very interesting. Grandpa Arnold patiently explained each step to them and told them that they would have to wait for a while before the seeds could sprout and grow. So in the evening, everyone sat around the dinner table, and most of the ingredients were grown by their grandparents themselves. They chatted, and Grandma Evelyn shared her experience of growing flowers, while Mom Lizzie talked about how to make some simple crafts at home. Suddenly, the lights flickered and the whole cottage fell into darkness. A fierce wind was blowing outside, and it was obviously a sudden storm that had damaged the power line. Bella and Ethan were startled by the sudden darkness, and they clung tightly to their dad John's hand. Dad John told everyone not to panic, and he thought of some emergency measures. At that moment, the only sound in the room was Dad's steady and warm voice comforting the children. "Spam that. Don't be afraid. We have a way to deal with it." Dad John took out a flashlight, found some candles and matches, and after lighting them, the room immediately became warm and bright. Grandpa Arnold turned on the emergency light, and the atmosphere in the room returned to normal. Dad John said to the children, quote, "At home, we should always prepare some emergency items, such as flashlights and candles, so we won't be so panicked when the power goes out." This experience slightly calmed the nerves of Bella and Ethan, but the storm was still fierce, and the thunder was still deafening. Grandma Evelyn suddenly suggested superiority trivia game about nature and family so everyone will feel more relaxed. Everyone agreed with the proposal. Grandma Evelyn started asking questions. "I shall side children. Do you know what phenomenon lightning and thunder are?" Ethan raised his hand and answered, "Lightning is an electric current between clouds, and thunder is the sound produced by the current passing through the air." Grandma smiled and nodded, encouraging the children to continue sharing their knowledge. Then she asked, "Why should we stay indoors during a storm?" Bella answered loudly, "Yeah, because there are trees and puddles outside, and it's dangerous if lightning strikes a tree or water." This answer made everyone nod in approval. Next, the family took turns asking questions and sharing emergency knowledge, adding a lot of warmth and fun to the originally tense night. The story was told here, and suddenly there was the sound of a door opening, and some neighbors from the village came, one after another. Grandpa Arnold and Dad John warmly invited everyone into the house to shelter from the rain. Although these neighbors also had no electricity at home, they shared many of their own experiences in dealing with the storm, and everyone cared for and supported each other in this sudden power outage and storm. Bella and Ethan not only learned various emergency knowledge in this family gathering, but also experienced the unity and friendship between neighbors. The storm gradually subsided, and the night returned to tranquility, and the electricity was restored. With the help of their grandparents, Bella and Ethan returned to their warm beds, and with the tranquility of nature, they fell into a sweet dream. The next morning, sunlight streamed into the room through the curtains, and Bella and Ethan opened their eyes, recalling the experience of the previous night, still feeling comfortable and warm. At the breakfast table, everyone continued to talk about the events of the night before. Grandma Evelyn smiled and said, "Of course, although last night was a bit thrilling, it was also a great learning opportunity. You learned a lot of important things, didn't you?" Ethan nodded seriously and said, "Oh yes, Grandma. I understood that it's important to stay calm in emergencies and to have emergency items ready at home." Bella happily added, "I also learned a lot about nature, like how lightning and thunder are formed." Mom Lizzie affectionately touched Bella's head and said, "Sarah, that's great, Bella." In fact, many problems we encounter in life can be solved as long as we have enough knowledge and a calm mind. Dad John nodded and continued, "Kat, when the power went out last night, we all responded together like a team. This not only taught you a lot of life tips, but also let you feel the support and love of family and neighbors." Grandpa Arnold shared his experiences of living in the countryside when he was young, saying, "Right back then, Arvin went out in the countryside, and our family was always prepared. I remember once when the mountains were closed by heavy snow, the whole village united as one to overcome the difficulty. So no matter what problems we encounter, as long as we are together, we can find a solution." Grandma Evelyn continued to "We can also share these tips with the children in the village so they can learn how to deal with various small problems in life." At this moment, Ethan had a bright idea and said, "Maybe we can hold a small class to teach the children in the village these useful tips." Bella also excitedly agreed, "Yes, I can teach them how to repair small toys, and my brother can teach them emergency knowledge." Everyone thought it was a good idea. So Dad John and Mom Lizzie helped prepare materials, and Grandpa Arnold and Grandma Evelyn invited neighbors to bring their children to participate. After hearing the news, the children in the village came to Bella and Ethan's class with their own questions and confusion. Under the direction of Grandma Evelyn, the small class began. Ethan first took the stage and explained the emergency measures during a power outage to everyone and demonstrated how to use candles and flashlights. Later, Bella demonstrated how to repair toys using her teddy bear as an example to teach the children how to mend broken parts. The class was full of laughter and interaction, with every child actively participating and studying diligently. After the class ended, each child went home with the new knowledge they had learned. Bella and Ethan looked at everyone's happy faces, feeling a sense of achievement. Grandpa Arnold came over and praised them, saying, "You did a great job today, not only helping many people, but also learning to share knowledge and experience." Dad John and Mom Lizzie also congratulated the children, and Mom Lizzie said gently, "You not only helped others, but also let everyone know that many small problems in life can be solved through your own effort." Knowledge and love are the most important resources, and they will make our lives better. Bella and Ethan nodded and smiled, understanding that no matter what difficulties they encounter, as long as they learn and share with their hearts, they can resolve various problems. They felt more confident and brave and cherished the care between family and neighbors even more. A few days later, as the summer vacation was coming to an end, Bella and Ethan said goodbye to their grandparents with reluctance, preparing to return to the city. They brought back the knowledge and skills they had learned in the countryside, their hearts filled with new expectations. After returning to the city, Bella and Ethan continued to maintain the good habits they had learned in the countryside. Whenever they encountered small problems, they would first try to solve them by themselves. One day, Bella found that the cover of her picture book had torn at one corner. Instead of rushing to ask her mother for help, she took out some clear tape and carefully stuck the cover back together. Seeing the picture book looking as good as new, Bella smiled happily. Ethan was no exception. When the zipper of his school bag got stuck, he calmly took apart a few screws of the bag, found the reason for the jam, and then used his mother's sewing tools to fix the zips. Mom Lizzie stood by with a smile, watching her two children, her heart full of pride. One sunny afternoon, Bella and Ethan organized a small exhibition at home, inviting the children of their neighbors to visit and learn. Bella showed off her repair toys and books, while Ethan demonstrated some simple repair skills. The children praised their exhibition and expressed their desire to learn these practical skills. After the exhibition ended, Dad John and Mom Lizzie sat on the sofa, looking at their brave and intelligent children, feeling extremely gratified. Bella and Ethan ran to their parents' side and happily said, "Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for teaching us so much. We also want to share this with more people." The summer breeze gently blew the curtains and sunlight filled the entire room through the windows. This family was filled with the light of knowledge and love. With the support and encouragement of their parents, Bella and Ethan continued to bravely explore every detail of life, growing into more independent, wise, and loving individuals. The story came to a perfect end on this warm afternoon. Bella and Ethan's journey of life's little tips will continue, and they will face every challenge and surprise in life with their family. Thanks for joining us for another great adventure. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exciting video. We can't wait to see you again. Bye for now.